We first heard about the Hardaway Cottage from a contractor who worked at the sanctuary Aaron works for. He found out on Facebook that she was into paranormal investigation and asked her if she had ever heard of the Hardaway. He told her he knows the women who clean the house between guests and that they have some interesting stories. So we contacted Beth and Mark Trimble, the owners, through AirBnB and asked if they would be interested in an investigation. They were. So Aaron and Meredith went down to meet Mark and Beth and scope the house out and talk about the incredible history of the place. Then the team carpooled down to Warm Springs, Georgia on Saturday, September 28th. We got there around 5 p.m. and started setting up the cameras. The house was challenging because there were so many angles we wanted to record, but we only had 4 cameras. We opted for a camera in 2 of the upstairs bedrooms, 1 on the stairs, and 1 in the downstairs bedroom. After we had set up, Beth gave us a tour of the house, telling us about its extensive history.
But it's a really early example of a handicap bathroom.
Yeah, the standing shower and the tall.
Right. So Alexander could roll right in there and take care of all of his needs. And we're pretty sure that most of the tile in that room is original.
Wow.
So it's just a really cool thing.
Yeah, so it was in the 1940s they made that? That's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, 1945. So one thing that FDR was really well known for is when he created the Institute for Polio Rehab here, he made it holistic. He wanted the people to have access to social events. There was a church, spiritual event, spiritual needs met, and then their physical needs. And there was a school here too. And so the house has a rich history of interacting with that institute. But the house was built really before FDR established all that by a lady named Rebecca Hardaway. But I'll tell you a little bit more about her later. But if you want to walk through there, we can go into Alexander's bedroom. I can show you that. Was part of it was Alexander's family, and then they, Mr. and Mrs. Glenn, deeded it to their 4 children jointly, and that just like you would think with 4 siblings, they all loved it, I'm sure. But nobody took on the responsibility of maintaining it or coming here.
Right.
And so it became in poor repair and known as a creepy house during the 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was sold in the late 60s or early 70s to a family named Burris, Ralph and Winona Burris. And he worked, but when we bought the house, we did a lot of research, and the research was really productive because the Institute has a full-time historian, and he shared a lot of photographs and information with us about the house. So we know that the basic layout is the same as it was when it was built, except for the addition, and then the kitchen had been gutted several times and remodeled. And so the 2 projects we've done is we added the large deck out front, and Mark remodeled the kitchen and tub. And we found what we call their sister house, which is the architect's home, and it has similar features to this house. And we were able to meet the owner and go through it. But he has a fireplace exactly like that one too, except his marble is faux, and Rebecca Hardaway decided she needed the real thing, so that's real marble. We know that it was original to the house because the terracotta floor is the same as the sister house in Atlanta, and it's specified in the building plans. But the one in Atlanta does not have the arched windows. I think it was used a lot for plants because there's a channel around the bottom where you could water plants and then the water will run out.
Little greenhouse.
Yeah. But the historian gave us all of the paperwork, and of course it was a very different racial era. And so the house says, there's almost like homeowners association that FDR put in place. He said you couldn't raise goats, you couldn't distill liquor, you couldn't turn your house into a dance hall, and you couldn't rent to Negroes. Wow. And so, it was like right there in print. It was like, wow, okay, I have this original document that states it in that way. But you could have hired them as servants. And the lady who cooked for the Hardaway's a lot was named Daisy Bonner, and Daisy would cook for FDR when he came into town. So she would, and the little White House, you can't quite see it, but it's right through the trees right over there. When you go under the bridge, that bridge is the private entrance to the little White House. So it's right there. Yeah.
Cool. It's a stone's throw away, so.
It is, it is. So Rebecca gives me the sensation that she was a very fun-loving person, but very industrious, and then at the same time she had a bit of entitlement to her, like we're going to do things the right way.
Yeah.
And she was a spitfire. So we told about, she did sue the Institute at one time because she got upset about how they were clearing some timber off the land. And she got into a battle with them when she was building the house, because most homes on the grounds here were one story, and that had to do with a person in a wheelchair having access to the entire house. But she wanted to build a 2-story house. So at one point, the Institute wrote her and said, we need to see the building plans. You can't build just any monstrosity. And that was their terminology.
Oh, wow.
So it was getting testy. But I think that's why she was required to put in an elevator, because there was an elevator put in originally with the house, and we can unlock it and let you look at it.
Nice.
It's really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Very
It's
cool.
rope pulled.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
it was, I feel pretty comfortable that's why she was required to put in an elevator.
Really cool.
That's the one thing she's trying to get over.
That makes a lot of noise.
You okay, baby? It's going down pretty
So
quick.
what's happening is, there's a flywheel that the rope goes around.
Yeah.
That's actually what's turning by the rope. And there's a series of gears that works this double cable, which is your transfer.
Right.
It's transferring, and that's set up where they can come up here and then just set up weights.
I was telling Aaron and Meredith, it's not a bad feeling, but one night I slept in that bed and I just kept feeling about that window like there was a woman had stood there. She wasn't with me, but a woman had stood there and looked out that window waiting for someone. Like this very pensive, nostalgic feeling. She's either looking or waiting for something at that window. I don't know exactly what that's about, but anyway.
Sometimes a house has memories and it likes to tell you.
Yeah, that's it. Like
Yeah.
it was a memory. Lessons.
So that's the window, right? That
Yes, that Karen said she heard the picture rattle and then she heard the blinds really moving a lot.
Which is interesting because they don't have a drawstring or
Yeah.
push-ups. So, yeah, I was thinking
And
we're,
there's not a vent. I always think, well, maybe there was a vent, like the air was on there, but there's not a vent right there.
I don't know.
No, she's
Yeah.
really,
Well,
I have no
hopefully if
reason
we're
to think she
lucky.
would, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, I hope that she
Isn't
wants
that
to play with it
cute?
again.
So cute. When it rains, we do get water here. It's more water than I normally see. I have one. Took a look at that, but it looks like it just came in under the door. But there's the original furnace boiler, and it was built to use it with coal, but they immediately had it converted to gas, and so I don't think they ever had coal deliveries or used it as a coal burning stove. But I do, it is an old stove, and we just left it because I know it weighs a ton.
That's upset about a furnace. I'm just gonna show them that picture.
Behind the wall is a toilet, And I really would like to take the down and take the toilet out, because we think, our theory is that this is where servants were required to, that they would not have been welcome to go upstairs, because there's not not really a guest bath on the main level, especially before they added, when they didn't add the wing.
Right.
There wasn't even a bathroom at all on the main level.
Yeah. We began the investigation in the upstairs bedroom, where the reports of the blinds opening and closing came from. Meredith stayed down at base camp, and Kristen, Sam, and Aaron went up to do the EVP session. After a while, Beth joined us. We like having the homeowners or residents join us for EVP sessions because sometimes entities respond better to someone they're familiar with.
Is it upstairs or a room downstairs?
Do you prefer when the house is empty or full of guests? Rebecca Hardaway, do you hear me? Are you there?
This was the one I kept seeing the dust.
That was me exhaling. Sorry.
Oh no, this is the room I kept seeing the dust whenever I was taking photos and stuff. So.
Ooh, orbs.
Orbs. It's super spooky in here.
So I thought I saw something over there,
Did you?
but I can't be sure.
Where?
It's shadowy and like over by the door, like in between the two doors.
I wonder if it's an effect from my camera light or anything like that. That's going to be hard because we don't have a camera in this room.
Well, if you stand in that corner and film that way, then
Well,
we get
I
the
don't
door.
have IR, so I'm looking at, what if I film lights and you can look elsewhere? Because I can pick up the
Okay,
lights.
then I'm gonna.
Yeah, there's just an eerie feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure my friends here gave you the rundown, but we do have that cool flashlight. We'd really like it if you would kind of at least talk to us a little bit, because we're a little bit curious.
Should I also be filming with Kristen's, even though there's no...
No, I got it for now.
Okay.
What's your name? Oh, flipped a little bit.
Oh, did it? I wasn't.
I didn't see
I
you.
saw it. Could you touch that green light again for me, please? Because what's your name?
Somebody just got a message downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I guess so far with me, I've been at base for a good part of it, but a lot of like feelings of eeriness, I think, but that might just be because I know the stories. That's all I got, really.
sometimes old houses, I feel like, just have that feeling to you because it just, I don't know, some things look a little creepier when they're old.
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people did live in this house.
This is true.
So, not all of those memories can be good.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's interesting that, like, a house does have memories? You know, so.
I've only been, like, slightly uncomfortable, like that anxious feeling in that first vision that we did.
Yeah.
I really didn't feel anything in that bedroom. I was like so sleepy, just like bored.
Yeah, it's weird. No, that's okay. It's a lot of waiting in the darkness, so.
That's what it is.
That's it, that's the show. Hanging out in the darkness.
That's the whole job.
Yeah, it
Waiting
is.
for somebody to touch something, anything, like anything. Staring at a monitor, like, come on, lines.
Please touch the lights.
Touch the lights.
Please touch the lights. Please play with the cameras. Please knock them over. Please do something, because that's always fun. But, you know, sometimes I don't feel like playing.
Yeah. Quite often, they don't feel like playing. Talking, sure. Playing,
Yeah.
not so much.
Playing. Here, I'll record you.
I think it just takes so much effort probably to touch, physically, like, move, touch stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it takes a lot out of them to do the flashlights because they can only do it for
Mhm.
a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of crossing planes there, so.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. Well, Aaron, what have you experienced in the?
What have I experienced?
Yeah.
Well, the first bedroom we did, it was a little creepy feeling to me, a little oppressive feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Second bedroom, I could swear I saw something twice. One is shaped by the wall, and the other one a like floating black spot. And the floating black spot happened right before Kristen's camera did something really weird with the memory card. So I don't know what that was about. The last bedroom just felt heavy. So I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. Honestly, it feels less eerie out here than I feel like.
In the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nicer out here.
Why are basements always so creepy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Is that you? Can you turn it off?
Turn it off if that's you.
You need to be really sure, so.
Turn it off if you agree that basements are creepy. Alright, it might just have turned on.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm gonna give you a sec.
It's like going.
Oh, are we figuring it out?
I don't want to be skeptical because I hasn't done it all night.
Yeah. Okay. Are you
Here's the deal. Is we have to be sure that it's you, and I'm happy for you to play with the flashlight, but if it is you, I need you to just turn it completely off, snap it off, okay?
Whoa.
Now can you turn it back on? Can you touch the little green light? I mean, that would help us know too, because that's not going to go off by itself. Did you spend a lot of time down here? Turn the flashlight on to tell us. Yes. Okay. Did you like to come down here? Keep it on for yes or turn it off for no? Okay. So you didn't like to come down here? Did you have to come down here?
Okay.
Do you go to other parts of the house? Do you stay only in the basement? Okay. Can you turn it back off for me so we can ask you some more questions? I know it's really cool. You hear stuff?
Yeah, it's probably a mouse or something. Just
Okay.
like wrestling.
What was this stuff to say the other day? I'm gonna need you to turn it back off though, so that we can ask him some more. I know. It's hard. Thank you though. Is that you making noises behind us? Is it a mouse? It's really important that we know.
Is it just the house making noises? I don't think he knows.
Okay, that's fine.
Were you a servant here, and that's why you were down here a lot?
Were you a child? Were you an adult? Okay. Sorry, that was my fault. Can you turn it back off for us? I know it takes a lot of energy, but it really helps us. And then the other way. Got a little brighter.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Almost there. Yes, you're doing so good.
You are doing great.
See, I don't frame it for being confused which way to go.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's like a little cool. It's like almost fall, maybe.
Yeah, it's cooling off a little bit.
What are you doing? Just I know we already started talking about it, but about our night.
Yeah, like I said earlier, like it's okay. Like, it was okay. It was, I've kept on waking up several times. I do that sometimes when I'm staring at a new place. I think I had a weird dream. I just don't remember what it was about.
Hmm.
So, yeah, well, the mattress comfort. Yeah, I think the mattress comfort.
And then, but yeah, no, when I did wake up, it was more of like a, I'm awake, okay. What's around me?
Hmm.
So.
I don't have to like sleep, and I could do that to sleep for like an hour and a half.
Mm.
Yeah. A lot of weird shuffling. So you heard the knocking too. Okay.
I didn't hear anything. It wouldn't be like more than one, it would just be like one little pop.
Mhm. Or the sound of something. Did you hear something sound like it fell?
I don't know what, I don't know if it would sound like something fell, but I heard like a shh, and then like
Hmm.
nothing.
Hmm.
Like maybe a tornado, they were like shh, and then nothing. At the time I was like, it sounds like somebody in slippers coming to get me.
Oh no! Oh, God, this is
Yeah.
Here, let me grab it so you can see it a bit.
Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Alrighty.
Yeah, a few times I heard what sounded like knocking, like Sam said, or the sound of something falling. It sounded like a bag of something fell over. I didn't get up to check it out because I didn't. I'm sure it was nothing, but we
had the cameras rolling, so if it was anything, hopefully we caught it.
True. Cool.
While we didn't catch any great EVPs, there were a few that are so faint we decided not to share them. We did capture the interesting interaction with the flashlight, and we're happy to share that with our clients and with you. Our takeaway is that there may be an entity at the Hardaway. We definitely found enough evidence to make us wonder, but not enough to be absolutely certain. The Hardaway is beautiful, lovingly restored, and has a long and interesting history. We hope to be able to revisit it someday and see if we can corroborate the flashlight activity by having it happen again. In the end, it was a great experience, and we are very thankful to Beth and Mark Trimble for allowing us to bring our equipment in and check their house out.